Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gameroom Discourse. My name's James,
My name is Mike.
And I'm Joey.
I think I'm
and
dying.
Mike is slightly sick, apparently.
I'm slightly
And-
sick and I have a nosebleed. It's just a good time to be alive.
Sorry, we're getting just went to you later again, where a lot of stuff came up for everyone. So,
It's life. It happens.
yeah, it happens. This week's topic, of course, will be our top games, or rather, our ranking for games we've played in 2022. Well, 2022, or games that come out in 2022 at least.
Yeah. So for me, I have top 10 games of 2022, but I have a few honorable mentions. But not everybody played 10 games in 2022. So
Yeah.
I played a lot. Me
Shoot.
personally, my list is small because I haven't played a lot of games that came out in 2022.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be unfair to the games of 2022 and be like, time to fill this up with games that came out before 2022 and act like the Game Awards and say it's okay.
Yeah. Okay, the first on my list is Infamous for the PS3.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't want to do that. I just felt like that would be bad.
Yeah, and for me, it's a list of the 10 that I really liked, and then 4 honorable mentions. Because I can't rank things. The way my brain works, priority just doesn't exist.
I'm the other way around.
Mine is. I was gonna say mine is different entirely. Of just like, do I recommend these games or not? Is my thing.
So, obviously, I'm going to start with the honorable mentions. There are 4. So the first honorable mention is Elden Ring. The only reason Elden Ring is an honorable mention is because I haven't personally played it. I've just watched a lot of people play it, and it's awesome. I just haven't gotten around to physically playing it, so I didn't think it'd be right to put it in my top 10. But it definitely would be there if I played it. Then there's also God of War Ragnarok. Same thing as Elden Ring. Have not physically played it, but seen a lot of people play it. Phenomenal game. Godlike. It is insane.
Do not spoil anything for me. I'm trying to go through the story blind.
No, I won't say anything. And then this is a game that I played that would be in my top 10, but it wasn't released it's a re-release. Like, it's a collection of games that were not released in 22, but the collection was released in 22. It is Danganronpa Decadence, the collection of all the Danganronpa games, along with the fan service Danganronpa S Summer Camp game. I love Danganronpa. I think it's phenomenal. Top 3 visual novels of all time, in my opinion. Up there with Phoenix Wright. And then the other honorable mention is Rune Factory 5. I can't decide genuinely if this is one of my favorite or least favorite games of 2022. Because there's parts of it that I love. There's parts of it that I absolutely hate that have made me stop playing the game. But I can't deny that it's cool. So I put it in honorable mentions. All right.
Is that it for your honorable mentions?
Yeah, that's my HMs.
Can I list all my 4?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, for my first one, it's James. Do you have honorable mentions?
I have like 2.
Yeah, I have 4. So
go for it.
Yeah, my first one is a game called A Little to the Left. It's basically a point-and-click puzzle game where all it is organization.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, you have a toolbox. Everything has a place in it, but everything isn't in its place right now. Go wild. And sometimes there are multiple solutions where it'll be sorted by size, and other times it'll be sorted by color, or how many things does it have in it, or what's the shape.
So it's like an OCD game.
Yes, I loved it.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yes. some of the achievements are a little kind of BS, and it's weird, but I still recommend it. The second game
Sorry.
is going to be a game called Grapple Dog, if you've ever heard of it.
No.
It is an indie game where you play as a dog who has a grappling hook, and the physics is really good. The music's really good. It's something to play in the background. It wasn't fantastic, but it was still really good. I never beat it though, so that's why it's in my honorable mentions. Same with the next one, which is called Tunic.
Oh, Tunic is great.
Yeah, it's a Souls-like, top-down. It's Souls Zelda-like.
Yeah, it's Souls-like without the Dark Souls, like darkness.
Yeah.
Without the grim dark state.
It's also very cute and uses barely any words for secrets. And I've seen a lot of spoilers and haven't beaten the game itself, but my brother has beaten it, and I would have played it more if not for another game that came out in 2021 that completely stole all my attention.
Ah,
Yeah.
very fair.
And then my last honorable mention is a game called Drainus, where it's basically a 2D side-scrolling shooter. It's one of those Gradius ones.
Oh, okay.
Like Ikaruga, Gradius, but it goes left to right. Yeah. Sometimes it goes left to right, sometimes it goes down to up. It's very weird. And then the main gimmick is if there's an energy projectile, you can absorb it for your health or your beam and do a special attack.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting. And I beat it, haven't 100% completed it, but it's a short game and it's very fun. Okay, James, what's your honorable mentions?
My honorable mentions are Persona 5 Royal, which had a port basically for everything else that wasn't PS4 or PS5 earlier, like 2022, and I played the heck out of that last year. And honestly, I feel like it would suck if I didn't mention it. And the other one would have to, I mean, everyone knows Persona 5 Royal is. And the other one would have to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, which did come out 2022, but I haven't played it enough to actually feel like I could give it a fair rating to say that, hey, you should play this game when I haven't played the game fully myself, you know?
Yeah, it's very fun. I've played like the first 2 levels over and over whenever I went to a friend's house.
But it's like I haven't played the entire thing, or like I want to play it more to be fair to it and other
Yes.
games, you know.
That's what all my honorable mentions are basically. Like, either I didn't play them enough, because some in the top 10 actually, I haven't beaten
Be
them,
right back.
but I've played enough to know that I love them.
Exactly.
It's weird, but it's good.
This probably would make my top 10 and be on my list if I played it enough.
Yeah. Since we're still waiting on Mike to come back, I guess I'll mention the game that grabbed me away from Tunic. It came out in 2021, so it doesn't qualify for this list, but it's a game called Death's Door.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I had to spit out blood.
I was hopefully you're
God,
okay.
it's not the best.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
I was just mentioning the game that it's not technically part of this list because it came out in 2021, but it's a game called Death's Door that kind of stole me. What?
Not allowed.
I know. I'm just saying
mentions.
It's an honorable mention that
because we
stole
played
me
it
away
during 2022.
because I played it in 2022. Yes,
like I did for Persona 5 Royal, which I think you missed me saying.
Yes.
I played it a lot. So we were playing some of these other games for a bit.
Alright. Fine. Alright, so I'm gonna do my top 10, I guess then. We'll go.
Yes.
I'll go. Do you want me to go first since I went first with that? We'll
Go
just
for
keep
it.
going in that round. All right. So up number 10. I have a game I didn't play too much, but it was really fun. It's a party game. Mario Strikers Battle League. This game took a lot of my time for about 2 weeks. I was just playing it with friends from. I don't think I ever played it with you guys. I don't think we ever were on at the same time.
I don't
But I
have
played
it.
it with a lot of. I played it with a lot of my IRL friends. Why am I saying IRL friends if we're not IRL friends? We
Friends that are within your immediate reach.
Yeah, we went to college together, but I guess yeah, that's right. It's really fun. It's really satisfying. I've always enjoyed the Mario sports games. And that's really all it is. It's just Mario Soccer, or Mario Strikers Soccer. That's all. Just more of that goodness. The graphics are obviously better than they were on the GameCube and the Wii, but at its core, it is Strikers gameplay, and it's great.
Yes.
Number 9 is a game that nobody here is gonna know. It's called Monarch. It is a turn. It is a turn. It is. I would describe it as a turn-based action RPG. It like mixes the two, in a weird way. It's really interesting. The story's kind of fucked up. So I'm not going to talk about it too much. I haven't beaten it yet. I'm about a third of the way through it because there's a lot of games that I played this year or this past year. But the game itself, it just merges so many different kinds of gameplay from RPGs, like that I haven't really seen before. Like there's turn-based, but you also have to move around on your own, and you also have to like I don't know. It's interesting. Kind of like a strategy RPG. It's like Fire Emblem, but if Fire Emblem was like I don't
More
know,
action.
yeah, it's really hard to explain, but it just merges a lot of it together. But it's really really cool. I like it a lot. It's got a very big gothic style to it, which I think is cool.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's made by Nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Now we get to the top 8, which is games that pretty much everyone should know, except for maybe one. Number 8 is Triangle Strategy, which is becoming as I continue to play it, because it's a long game. And there's multiple things you can do. I'm on my 3rd playthrough. It is becoming one of my top 10 strategy RPGs of all time. Obviously a lot of that top 10 is Fire Emblem. It is climbing that top 10 quickly. It is fantastic. The story about the Salt and Iron War, story about betrayal and politics in like an ancient time, while also the Fire Emblem gameplay of that strategy RPG kind of thing merges so it just blends so perfectly. The, the character like the characters are great and then evil and then evil and then great depending on where you play. It's truly phenomenal, and I cannot recommend it more. Up next we have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I really wanted to put Triangle Strategy above Scarlet and Violet, but I feel like for a lot of people, Triangle Strategy will be too long, and they won't have that kind of time. I mean, this game came out. Triangle Strategy came out in March of last year or something like that, and I'm still playing and still doing more things, and it's been almost a year. That's a long time. Scarlet and Violet, I beat in a month. Nah, I beat it in like a week. It's good. Obviously, we all know about the trash performance of it, which is unacceptable to the nth degree. But it's Pokemon, and the Pokemon themselves are cool for the most part. I don't really have too many qualms with them. The idea is really cool as well. The region is very pretty. Yeah, it's just the graphics are absolutely atrocious. But like the performance of it's atrocious, which does get in your way, which does lower the liking of the game. But you know, as a Nintendo lover for 17 plus years, ever since I could function as a 5-year-old, you learn to kind of accept that graphics and performance aren't always going to be great. As long as the quality of the game is there, you'll be fine. You kind of learn to live with it. But as I've gotten my PS4 now, graphics and performance is something that I noticeably see the difference with in like Switch games now. So
Yes, the further you go along, the more
Mm.
it's required for you to go back and try and play it. Because the reason I can go back and play laggy PS3 games is because trophies.
yeah,
And Infamous is a really good game.
Yes,
yeah, it's a
yes, it
great
is.
game.
Whereas with Pokemon, it's just, oh, it's more the same. I already played, what was it, Sword and Shield and BDSP, and I haven't even
BDSP
scratched
was
the.
terrible though.
Yeah, I know, but I'm nostalgic, so I still enjoyed it. And
No,
then
I didn't.
I haven't even scratched the surface with Arceus, so it's just like, why would I play a new Pokemon game when I haven't even touched Arceus or gone into Crown Tundra for Sword and Shield?
Well, you should definitely do Crown and Tundra because that's the best part of Sword and Shield, in my opinion. But you don't need to play Arceus to play Violet or Scarlet.
Yeah, I know.
But you should definitely play Crown Tundra. That's like the best part of Sword and Shield, easily.
Yep, and I do have
Not
a
even
copy of
close.
I do have a copy of Scarlet, but I don't plan on playing it until either they fix things or
They have fixed
emulation.
a lot of it. They have fixed a lot of it. They've released 2 patches, I think.
I need to probably check it out though because I have seen like the new stuff, but I don't know. I think the Pokey Boomer in me is just going, that's too much new stuff again. I just got used to the last stuff. Come on now, Pokemon. You at least stick with
Yeah,
one for at least a little bit.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
weird.
Yes, it is. All right, so number 6. Some of you might be a little surprised if this is this high on the list and not a little bit closer to number 1. Is Bayonetta 3. Now, Bayonetta 3 is one of it's one of my games of all time.
It's one of your games of all time.
Um,
Yeah? Is it this number 5 on your list?
it's
6 actually.
6.
This game is amazing, but it has one thing about it that that brings it down so far. This could have been number 2, possibly number 1 on my list, if not for this thing that the game does with Jean. Jean is in this game. Jean is Bayonetta's friend from when she was a kid. And she has these like espionage spy missions. There's only 4 of them, but they are some of the worst things I've ever played. And I've played Bubsy 3D. These things, these little missions are so frustrating for me. I don't know if it's just because I'm an idiot or I don't understand something or I'm missing something. They are I haven't beaten the game yet because I don't want to play the third one of these missions. And they're mandatory. I don't want to. I'm going to beat the game eventually because it's fantastic. Everything about the game aside from this is top notch. game of the year worthy stuff for me. It is unreal how good it is. Except for this part, which knocks it down so far. I absolutely loathe these sections. I love the music for them, which is why I was super excited when it happened. When I got into the first one, I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I actually started playing it, and I'm like, wow, this plays like dog shit.
That's unfortunate.
And it's really bad. I do not enjoy them in the slightest. They are confusing. They are conflicting. They are really hard for whatever reason right off the get-go. I don't know. I really, really, really don't like them. So now we get to my top 5.
Hey.
This won't be too surprising. Number 5 is Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's my favorite Pokemon game.
That was early. That was early.
It came out in January.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, oh yeah, that did come out 2022.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's my favorite Pokemon game that I've played. Mainline, anyway. It is great. It's the only one that I've ever 100%ed. I've never ever caught all the Pokemon before, but I did here because I absolutely loved it. It's everything that I've wanted from a Pokemon game for a very, very, very long time, and I finally got it, and it did not disappoint. Yeah, there's no. I've already talked about Arceus in previous podcasts, so I'm not gonna hinder on it too much. But it's really phenomenal. Number 4, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Again, we all know how much of a Fire Emblem nut I am. Fire Emblem 3 Houses obviously being in my top 10 favorite games of all time list. So we all know how much I love Fire Emblem, and we all know how much I love Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Well, we also know how much I love action RPGs. And Fire Emblem 3 Hopes is just an action RPG version of 3 Houses. So it speaks for itself as to why I love it. It's just 3 houses. Story is slightly tweaked. Not too crazy, but yeah, it's really good. I love it a lot. And I'm happy that they've moved on and now we have Fire Emblem Engage, which is also fantastic. Yeah, it's really cool. I really enjoy 3 Hopes a lot more than I thought I would. I thought it would be a little more. I thought it would be cool for like half an hour, and then I'd get annoyed that it's not something new. No, it's really good. It's really good. The story's changed enough for me to be like, wow, this is awesome. And then we have, surprisingly not number 2, Sonic Frontiers, which is number 3. Sonic Frontiers, I can say it now proudly, is my favorite Sonic game. It has beaten out Sonic Adventure 2, and I think we'll even further beat it out with the DLC that comes out. And I don't want to say too much about it because we did an entire podcast about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage you guys to go watch that one, which was one of our better podcasts, one of our better performing podcasts. So a lot of you've probably seen it. Really good game. Really plays well. Got some performance issues. Got some little quirks. Certainly not perfect, but definitely a huge leap in the right direction.
It really only seemed to be on the Switch, honestly.
No, it seems to be only on the PC. I didn't have any issues on the Switch.
I didn't have any issues on PC. It was mostly
You're
just
the one.
It was mostly
I
just
didn't have any issues.
popping, but there was nothing else.
Well, yeah, but I didn't have that issue. Yeah, I didn't have any issues at all on the Switch. But I only hear about people talking about.
Okay, I guess it's only on the PC then. I may be wrong.
Wow.
I mean,
I didn't really experience much then. It was really just
Yeah,
a pop
it
in
really
that was
doesn't
weird.
have much. It really doesn't
I
have
didn't-
much bad.
I didn't.
It's
have
just kind of
any.
quirky a little bit.
Quirky worky.
Just a little quirky. Game being just a little bit quirky.
I think the cyberspace levels really bring it down a bit. Like I
Yeah.
get the point why they're there, but if you want to, you can't keep holding on to the old if you want to go more into the new. You got to kind of go for it, and you have something that works with Sonic Frontiers, and you're holding it back for nostalgia, I guess.
Well, I mean,
But-
traditional gate. I mean, I feel like there'd probably
Yeah,
be
but
the
it's not
occasional
a
person
traditional
that would.
Sonic game.
Yeah, I know. I
So
was saying
fuck
there's
those
probably
people.
be.
Like
Yeah, I know.
they're
And
holding
understandable.
Sonic back. Knock it off. Play
Understandable.
Sonic Omens if you want. If you don't want it, like that's why that's there. Sonic Omens is fantastic. Or Origins, not Omens. Origins. Sonic Origins is fantastic. Play that if you're not interested in the new shit. But it's the new shit for a reason. So, let it fly on its own 2 feet. Let it fly with its own 2 wings. Let it run on its own 2 feet. Let it do its thing. You
On
have
its
a
own 2
working
feet.
formula. Yeah. Let it work. Let it do what it's good at. Right, Sega.
On its own 2 hands.
Yeah, let it run like Lanky Kong.
That would be great.
Yeah. Can we get a Lanky Kong Odyssey or a Lanky Kong Frontiers, please? Can we get a Lanky Kong origin story?
I doubt they're gonna give that to us.
They probably don't even remember who that is.
Yeah.
Number 2 is a game that I don't think either of you will know of. But this game is the first game that I played on my PS4 that I got for Christmas. And it is Star Ocean: The Divine Force. It is the newest Star Ocean game after Star Ocean 5 Integrity and Faithlessness or Faithfulness. I forget exactly the word. That game was in my top 5 least favorite games of all time. And for a right reason, that game was trash. But this game is fantastic. It is now my favorite Star Ocean game. The music is very intense, and some of it really hits you like in the feels. It's really good. I will send you guys a song that I've been listening to from this called Eternal Heat. And you guys can listen to it really quick. It's not too long.
I am probably gonna listen to it or tomorrow, I guess.
That's fine.
Yeah,
It's really good. It's really relaxing. But Star Ocean: The Divine Force is a game about Lawrence, the Lawrence family, Ray Lawrence, his brother Antonio, who's more later in the game. But Raymond Lawrence and Leticia. Leticia is from the planet that they land on or that Ray crashes on. You can play as one of the two. Their stories merge a lot, but they have their own parts of the story that can only be experienced from their point of view. So, yeah, but you pick one at the start. I picked Ray because I think he's cooler. But you go around, you crash land on a planet, and you go about that planet, saving that planet from. So essentially, there's the Intergalactic Federation, and they protect underdeveloped planets from other and more advanced planets, from interfering in their natural growth. So it's like they protect it from essentially like if I were to go back in time with the wheel and go back to like ancient ages and giving them the wheel technology, like just stuff that like should not be introduced at that point in time. That's what the Federation is supposed to protect against. Well, that's one of their acts anyway. The Planetary Underdeveloped Planet Protection Act. But Ray lands on this planet, crash lands after his plane is or his ship is shot down by a Federation ship that we later learn was hijacked. And so Ray has no choice but to use what he can to survive on this underdeveloped planet, and inevitably does some things that he probably shouldn't have done, but did not have a choice. A war breaks out between the two main nations of this game, the Kingdom of I can't remember their names right now. Kingdom of Osiris and the Air Empire, the Veil Empire. The Kingdom of Osiris and the Veil Empire. A war breaks out when 3 people who are aliens are going against the Planetary Protection Act and introducing high-tech weaponry to the Veil Empire, leading the Veil Empire to have a significant edge over the Kingdom of Osiris, and causing massive destruction and bloodshed. And Ray figures this out because he's obviously from space, so he knows that this planet should not have that kind of technology yet. And so he realizes something is wrong, and he agrees to try to help them in the fight, considering that it's the Federation that has caused this fight. So that's just a little premise of Ray's side. I have not played Leticia's side yet, but the game is really good. It's a traditional action RPG. You know, there's nothing groundbreaking about that. The voice is fully voice acted, and the voice acting is really good, I think. The graphics are fantastic, and the music is top notch. It's not too absurdly long, you know, beat it in maybe 30 to 40 hours. It's kind of short for an action RPG, but overall, I think that if it would have tried to go longer instead of splitting up the story, that it would have definitely dragged. I think the length for each side pretty good. Considering they did 2 separate sides, I think it's pretty good. And yeah, it's phenomenal. It might just be recency bias because I only beat it a couple weeks ago, finally. But it's really good. I really love it, and I recommend it to any of our RPG listeners out there. That if you want something different, it's different enough, but you can jump in any of the Star Ocean titles. You can jump in at any point. Most of them are standalone stories, except for the second one, which is a direct sequel to the first one. But that's really the only one you shouldn't jump in. But it's written its name. It's called Second Story. So if you jump into the second story without playing the first chapter, you're kind of stupid. So, and then number 1 didn't really be a shocker. It's Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Best Kirby game for me. I don't really think that's really controversial. No, Squeak Squad's still number 1 for me. Forgotten Land is very close though. Very close.
For me, it's like top 5. It's not the best one, but it's top 5.
Yeah, and even that's like a great, because there's a lot of Kirby games.
Yes.
But either way, Kirby and Forgotten Land really took the world by storm. A lot of people that I didn't think that were gonna play it played it. Myself played it, brought me right back into Kirby, but like as a kid, truly great, and just as dark and gritty as Kirby games secretly are.
Yep. I mean, I've always been in the Kirby cave, or what have you.
I truly love it. It's great.
Yep. Ever since Squeak Squad, I've been playing every single one, which means I did miss out on a couple.
I think I've been playing everyone since Amazing Mirror.
Yeah.
But then there was a time where I stopped. I didn't play Robobot. I didn't play Mass Effect.
What? Oh, Mass Attack?
Mass Attack. Yeah. Mass Effect.
Yeah, you haven't played
Yes,
Kirby until you
Mass
played
Effect,
Mass
Kirby,
Effect
Mass
trilogy.
Effect. Understand.
But yeah, the moment I got in, I stayed in. Like I did not stop at a single one, except for Return to Dreamland. I didn't really get too into it, or at least I don't
I
remember.
love that game.
Yeah, I mean,
That is my favorite Kirby power in it, which is Whip.
yeah.
I love that.
I mean, I did really enjoy it. It's just at the time I was a bit preoccupied with life, as around that
Right.
time life was absolutely shit for me.
Right. Valid.
Yes.
Valid. All right. If I take up any more time, we're not going to get to hear these two games. So let's go. Let's shoot it over to Joey.
Hello.
Joey,
Okay.
what's your top 10?
I don't really have a top 10 ordered.
Unordered top 10.
Unordered. Okay. Well, to save in time, I'm just gonna do some repeats like Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That's also on
Okay.
my list. God of War Ragnarok, despite the fact that I haven't gotten far enough into it, I still love the F out of all the characters, and even just the first like 3 hours I enjoyed.
Yeah. It's phenomenal.
It's absolutely phenomenal. Sonic Frontiers,
Mm-hmm.
Yep, yeah.
really enjoyed.
It really deserves it.
Yes.
It really does. It finally beat out Pokemon.
Yeah.
It did.
Twice.
It not didn't just beat out Pokemon. It nearly beat out most other games that came out this year.
Yeah, it was great. It was a knockout of the ballpark. It was awesome.
Yes. And
I
then
think
the
I should be
last
very proud. And they
last one
should
already
not fuck it up.
Yeah. Last one already mentioned was Elden Ring, which
Right.
There we go.
I could go deep into it, but I've already
Oh, I
talked.
didn't, remember?
I know, but I think James and I went really deep into it before.
To it on our Elden Ring episode we did.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yes. So watch that. We went
Yeah.
really deep into it. I
Deep into it.
100% the game on Xbox. I got it day 1, and then I saw the game on sale like day 2 on PC, and I'm just like, okay, done deal.
Honestly, also deserves to be bought multiple times.
Yes.
I'll go into it more when it's obviously on my list too.
Yeah. It's
Fair
kind of
enough.
on all of ours because, well, Mike didn't
It's
play
good.
it. Honorable mention.
It's undeniable. It's one of the undeniable. It did win Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Yes,
reason.
There is a reason why it did win Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
Should I go by highest notability to lowest notability, or the opposite way? Because the last
I
ones
would
are
go the other way. I would go lowest to highest.
okay. One one really good one is a game called Save Room.
Okay.
I found it browsing TikTok one day. It is basically a $5 game where the whole puzzle is you're trying to do the Resident Evil sorting thing. It's
Wait.
a puzzle. It's a puzzle game with that
Why?
because it's fun.
All right.
It actually has some stumpers and it's really fun.
Huh. Are you talking about the Resident Evil puzzle thing?
Yes, the one where you have to organize your inventory.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And it's really fun.
Huh. All right. Interesting. What was it called?
Save Room.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Yes.
I like those kind of games.
Next would probably be Linolith. I think I've talked about this before.
Yeah. That's a good game.
You've played it?
No, but I know what it is.
Yes, it is very fun.
But if I played it, it would have been on my list.
Yes. It is very fun. It's a puzzle game where you move around as a rock. That's as much as I'm going to say,
Yeah.
because if you haven't played it, play it yourself without any spoilers. That leaves the best room ever. I played it without any spoilers, and I was just like, oh my god, this game is genius.
Yeah, it's really clever.
Yeah, and I find myself going back to it sometimes, even though I 100%ed it. I'm just like, I kind of want to play through the beginning puzzles again, because they are really fun.
Yes.
Okay, next one is going to be a game called Tinykin.
I don't know what that one is.
It is basically a 3D platform puzzle type game where the goal is to get these things called Tinykins. There are some that can lift objects, there are some that can blow up things, and you basically just collect them and then use them on certain things. Think about it as a Pikmin game, but with just being able to get all these different objects and explore the world. It is great, and I loved it, and you should play it because it's really good, and it just got a new update where you
What, is
get
it Tiny Kitten or Tiny Kin?
Tinykin, like
Oh, okay.
kindred.
Okay.
Yes, it is very fun. And
I
also,
will. What's it? Oh God, what's it on?
uh, it should be on everything, I think. I know it's on Xbox because I 100% completed it both on Xbox and PC.
Wow, this game has a 10 out of 10 rating.
Yes.
That's impressive.
God damn.
Yeah,
Steam
it's
gave
on.
it a 10 out of 10. 97% liked this game. IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. Holy shit. All right.
Yeah, it is very good.
Yeah. It is on the Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox. It's on everything. All right, cool.
Yep. So, to everybody listening here, you have no reason not to
You
play
have
it.
no excuse.
Yes, it is
It's on
very fun.
everything.
It is $25.
Yes, and I'd say it's worth the $25.
Anakin is packed with fantastic third-person platforming creative mechanics. And blank, because I'm not clicking on that link. All right.
And then I have 2 left. Or no, 3 left. Sorry.
Shoot. Go for it.
Third one is going to be Nobody Saves the World.
Oh, I wanted to play that.
It is
I never
pretty
got
fun.
to it.
It is pretty fun.
What's it about?
It's basically about a character called Nobody. Like,
Yeah.
literally, he's
Alright.
just a blank slate, and he gets a
Yeah.
magic wand, and you get to transform into different characters, and level up with each of those characters, get new abilities, and then eventually you get to the point where you can mix and match between characters. Like the horse can have a kick where it'll kick behind it, but then it also has the ability to gain more mana from kicking like furniture or objects around the map. So what you have to do is you have to equip that extra mana on hitting whatever onto a different character and do that.
Huh.
Yes. It is quite fun. I really liked playing it in the background while watching videos. And
It seemed very fun.
Yes, and I 100%ed it until the DLC came out, and I kind of lost myself into different games, so I haven't gotten back into it.
Fair enough.
Yes. Now, the second to last one is going to be Vampire Survivors.
Okay. I don't know that one.
You know about it?
I don't know that one, though.
It
James?
is
Nah.
it is a
Alright.
bullet hell game where instead of all the bullets
I know
coming at
bullet hell.
you are the bullet hell. You are
Oh!
shooting you're shooting all these projectiles everywhere at once, doing melee attacks, doing all these different attacks.
That's sick.
Yes, it is absolutely sick. And there's progression, there's upgrades. It's a roguelite where you can unlock new
Alright.
characters. You can get like upgrades where you get to survive.
What is the difference between a roguelite and a roguelike?
Roguelike, everything is like roguelike with a K, everything is reset every single run. There is no upgrades in between runs. A light
Got it.
with the T is you get to transfer some upgrades. Like, say, if you get money from the run, you can spend that on, hey, unlock this new class, unlock
Gotcha.
more health.
Gotcha.
Yes.
It's an overall progressive system.
Yes. And I wouldn't say it's exactly a roguelite, but I mean the
I get
areas
what you
are
mean.
yeah, it's not randomly generated, but it's just you're a bullet hell. You're the bullet hell destroying monsters. And it has a very Castlevania-esque atmosphere to it.
Well, that's always good.
Yes. And then the last game on my list is Neon White.
Oh yeah, that was a good game.
Very good game. I
Yep.
haven't beaten it yet, but I still
No,
love it based
I
on
have not.
the campy voice acting,
Yeah,
the
it's good.
absolutely great platforming, shooting, and then
Yeah.
move mechanics. It basically teaches you how to be a speedrunner without having to be a speedrunner. It is great.
Nice.
Yes. And that's all I have to say about it is very good. You basically just get cards which you can either use to shoot something, like a projectile, a bullet, whatever, or do a secondary action, which could be stomping on the ground, or doing a double jump, or doing a dash, all those types of things.
Right.
Yes. And that's it, really.
What
I
would you
did
say is
play.
your favorite game of the year?
What is my favorite game? Elden Ring.
Okay.
It has to be Elden Ring. There is no other
It,
game.
it's super easy to make it older. It's hard to
Yes.
beat it.
Even though it's been a long time since I played it to completion, I still remember vividly having so much fun, especially when I was working at a certain shopping center.
It's very fair.
Yes. Helped me relieve all my frustrations.
It's also really satisfying to make builds in there too.
Yes. The only thing is that mine was a very regular build where it was just Bloodhound's Blade and dealing bleed damage.
Man, bleed damage is also fun where it's just like, up, I got that final hit. Time to have that person suffer.
Yes. Okay, time to pass the torch on to James. It's your turn.
Okay, I'm kind of a little bit glad I went last because most likely retention isn't all the way down here. So if you actually are watching now, you actually are okay with me talking about a little bit of controversial picks on mine.
Jesus.
A little bit.
What are you like?
I
I don't
mean,
know.
a couple of them.
I don't know. I don't know many bad games this season. So
Oh no, there's a little bit of
this
controversy
year,
on mine.
what a season! This year.
Oh
this
man,
season
talking
of
about?
the Gameroom Discourse podcast.
What am I talking about?
the least like the lowest on my list, my least recommended. Actually, I actually want to I don't mention. So my least recommended game on my list, Dragon Ball: The Breakers. Oh man.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Oh no, it's been addictive, I should say, rather than
Mm-mm.
good. If you actually like, it has a good core to it. But it's just handled by probably the worst people, I should say. I don't know
It's
how
pretty
to put
stupid.
that. Like the balancing is pretty bad, and has a gotcha mechanic too for if you're
Well,
playing
gotcha.
Survivor to
I
progress.
hate gotcha anyway. So yeah, it's not for me.
Well, I mean, you got to pay $20 to play the game anyway, and you got to play gotcha so that way you can progress as a. Most of the skills, for those that don't know, skills, powerful moves, and characters are behind a gotcha system in order to get those items in order to use them, and most of the best characters, items, and all that stuff is behind that progression, is behind that gotcha system. So either cough up real money or play a lot so you can actually put tickets or in-game money into it in order to use it up. And season 2 for the game has been delayed, and it's coming out sometime this month. It was supposed to come out sometime last month in January. So the game is dying very fast.
Good.
It's really it gets to a point where it's just like, oh man, I've seen this person the past 3 games. That shouldn't be happening. But here's hoping that the second season actually does do something different and also, changes to balancing because that has been god awful, as well as fix that gotcha system up. So yeah, that's my least recommended game. Even though I play it like every other day,
Yeah.
I'm stuck. Anyway, my other game that that's probably my second least recommended, mostly for just one reason. Actually, no, I got two reasons. High on Life, which got released at the near the end of the last year. Oh man, Justin Roiland controversy stuff in general makes me not want to play the game. And also it glitches from every time to time.
Wait, High on Life has controversy?
Well, I mean, it's more of the Justin Roiland stuff, and also people didn't like the fourth wall breaking that happens every 5 minutes. But I mean, if
I
you're
don't know
okay
much
with it,
about
like
the game.
basically the game is based around like the guns that you get in the game, which are actually talking characters, which have different abilities and shoot different, they're different kinds of guns. But the game
Okay.
is actually pretty sound besides the glitches. Like the platforming is pretty nice. Like the movement through areas. Combat gets a little dull, but the bosses actually are really great. Replayability is a bit of a problem, but each gun has a way to help you also platform and help you out in combat through their special ability, which is also pretty sick. So
Yeah.
it feels like it actually has a fair amount of love put into it, and like they also have modifications to change how the guns work themselves, and it's really
What is the Roiland? What is his? I don't know who that is.
you know the person that like voices most of the things in Rick and Morty.
Okay.
He's got a domestic violence charge,
Oh,
as
good.
well as a bunch of creepy text got leaked for him.
Oh,
Cart-
fun.
Adult Swim has also completely backed away from Justin Roiland, which in itself is a little bit like Cartoon Network. Why the fuck did you not say anything if it seems like you kind of already know how this is going to turn out? But that's other stuff. That's other stuff. But the game itself, pretty good. I like to remind everyone that Justin Roiland isn't the only person that worked on this game. There's hundreds, possibly even thousands of people that also worked on this game, and it does actually have love put into it.
Yeah, exactly. So
there's that. And if you do get annoyed by the talking in the game, there is a setting in the game that lets you turn all the way down to none.
that's the
So if it
best
does hurt,
thing because
yeah.
being able to turn down quips is a very funny setting.
Well,
It's like when I
yeah.
get in games.
It's by default it's on often, but I didn't change that until I was going into my second run through the game, and I'm just like, oh, okay, let's see how the setting actually is. Oh, it's default on often. I can turn it all the way down so they don't talk at all. The enemies
I
or
would
my
love
guns.
to turn it all the way up.
It's by default on all the way up, so you're good.
Oh, there's no higher than often. It's not. There's no always.
Oh, well, it's basically always. Don't worry.
All right.
You will not hear silence too often.
All right.
I'm gonna be honest. Even when you switch the guns, they're like, "Hey, man, it's been a while since you brought me out. Did I piss you off?" And I'm like, "Okay, bud, I pulled you out last fight. It's fine." Oh, I was just having a nice snap. Stuff like that. It does have charm in it too, like in the writing and the characters too. It's good. Okay, now moving on to my next one, Master Duel. Easily the most affordable and approachable way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Easily. Anyone can get into it. I think I've talked about this before already, but if you ever were interested in Yu-Gi-Oh!, Master Duel is probably the best way to get into it since it's free. And I'll move on from that. Next one above that, Overwatch 2. Oh boy. So this one obviously gets the most improved tag for me out of probably any game that came out in 2022. Probably the shittiest launch that anyone has ever seen.
What is it?
The Overwatch 2.
I thought we weren't going to
yeah,
talk about re-releases.
That yeah. Oh. But they did add new game mode. The developers have admitted mistakes and are actually responding to players. Like, they're actually changing things, not just saying that they're going to change stuff. They've actually changed stuff in game to like make things better.
I'm
They're
looking
adding
forward to
stuff.
season 3.
Yeah, season 3 looks really great. They're changing up the monetization system, and they're slowly but surely actually getting stuff into the right space that it should be, which I think is really great. Again, gets my most improved award out of all the games that came out in 2022. Okay. Yeah, it did good. It did good. It did good. They also do feel like they put in a good amount of work with the stuff they actually like when they add new content, you know? It's nice. It's good. It's good that Overwatch is actually being good again, you know,
Yes.
instead of being dead in the water. And also, you know, shit. Oh, good. So it's good. Next game, Sonic Frontiers. We've already talked about this. That's one of my high recommended. Literally the best Sonic game in the freaking decade. Dear Lord. What else can I even say about it? Innovative Sonic game. They actually treat the characters good. We've already had a Sonic Frontiers talk, so if you want to, again, go watch that video if you were interested in that. And my last and most recommended game from 2022 is Elden Ring, of course. And I feel like again, go watch the previous video for my thoughts on that. Otherwise, I'd be treading on ground that I've already said, not just before in a previous video, but in this exact podcast now, in this video right here.
Yeah.
That's my order. Very short list, but if I did, for anything that I didn't say, imagine that I haven't gotten my hands on the game, or I haven't played it enough in order to like properly rank it. If you're wondering why it's not on my list, or on any of our lists, really. Oh, yeah, there's my list. Glad you guys stuck around for that one.
Truly not a bad list.
Yeah.
It's not a bad list. It's just that some of it's like, man, out of my 6 ones that I picked, 2 of them I don't recommend, really, which would be Dragon Ball The Breakers and High on Life.
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean,
Dragon Ball
look,
The Breakers I've only played because
I think
I'm
Breakers is
addicted at this
shitty.
point.
I think Breakers is. I don't think it's even a good game. I didn't even like the idea when it came out. I thought it was cool, like as a joke, and I thought it was like an April Fool's joke. And then it wasn't.
It
And
has like fun
no.
interact. I'm saying this as someone that plays it every now and then. I know it cannot be interesting, and again, I'm not recommending it much. I'm just saying it does have moments where it's just like, hey, this is pretty cool. This is actually pretty fun. Get a friend on, it's even more fun. But
anything's fun in multiplayer. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
Overwatch Original was fun in multiplayer.
Just about anything with multiplayer is fun in multiplayer. Like with certain people. Because it doesn't matter how bad it is. People can just goof around. So I don't think that just because it's got good multiplayer means anything.
It has very cool concepts and it actually does some good stuff, right? And very interesting things. It touches. Yes, I do say so. I do, in fact, say so. But again, I still don't. I do, in fact, say so. But again, I also do, in fact, don't recommend it.
True.
I want to see the second season before I say anything more. If it isn't good, then I will just like shut up about Dragon Ball: The Breakers. Because if it gets delayed and then it's also not good and there isn't good balance, then at that point it's just like, well, don't come into this game that's dying, guys. High on Life is more of just like, well, it needs more patches and possibly DLC, which it might not get because of the Justin Roiland controversy still just going on right now. And also, if you don't feel like supporting Justin Roiland, probably also you probably also shouldn't buy the game. but I got it for free, so on Game Pass. So
Yep.
I'm not supporting them.
The best part, and
I'm
like,
playing it, and not supporting them at the same time.
yeah,
Let's
the
go.
best part about getting Game Pass is that you can get a lot of games and not support certain artists who don't deserve it and still play it.
Yeah,
I've
I've already bought the Game Pass.
It's moral piracy.
Exactly. Because everything on Game Pass isn't going to be removed from the Game Pass. It's not like I'm giving them more money by not playing it.
There were some games removed from the Game Pass that either me or my brother wanted to play, like Danganronpa 1.
Danganronpa.
Ronpa.
I mean,
not Ronpa. There's no O. You uncultured swine.
I don't think I said it right. I mean, by that, I don't have to buy the game or buy it after it comes off of Game Pass, I should say. I can just play it on Game Pass and not give a single piece of money to people that made it.
Okay, Mike, I'm going to send you a message and you tell me if this word has an O in it.
It doesn't have an O. It has an O in the word, but it doesn't have an O where you're saying wrong. The O is an ah sound.
Danganronpa.
No, I hate.
I just pronounced it as I saw it. I know it's probably not the right one, but I look at Danganronpa.
In Japanese phonetics, that's how it's pronounced. A, E, I, O, U.
I know that. I know how the Japanese phonetics work. You are correct in that sense. And I will 100% agree with that because that's how the vowel sound is traditionally in Japanese. However, if you've played the games, they don't say the word in the games, they say the word in the opening themes. And it's Danganronpa.
Because they're Japanese, the "ah" is a little bit less noticeable.
It is a little less stressed, but because we're American, we tend to stress it more when we're talking about Japanese. So,
Danganronpa. Is that better?
Yeah, there you go. Danganronpa. It's not Danganronpa.
It could still be.
So,
that's not how
back
they
to our
say it.
topic. Anyway,
yeah,
please refer to us what you liked, what games you liked from 2022.
Yeah, what games did you guys like in 2022?
Yeah.
Tell us about our list. Tell us if we had good or shit lists.
Yeah, you know what? Don't tell me that I had a shit list because this time I believe that I had a great list. I don't think there's any controversy on mine. You can aim all your controversial opinions at James this time.
Yeah, that's very fair. I'll take it this time, Mike. I'll take it this time.
You can have it.
And how about, since we end the 2022, how about we each list one game from 2023 that we look forward to?
Fire Emblem Engage. But I'm playing that already, so that doesn't count.
James, what do you look forward to?
I was going to be honest. I still also wanted to mention one game I didn't get a chance to play, but I did want to play that came out in 2022, which was Gotham Knights. But it's only next-gen.
Joey, I think ours might be the same game.
No, mine's definitely going to be different.
Yours isn't Tears of the Kingdom? Breath of the Wild 2?
I am looking forward to that, but that's not going to be the one that I'm looking forward to.
Oh, okay. Mine is definitely Breath of the Wild 2.
For me, it's definitely Theatrhythm Final Bar Line.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a rhythm game, which I know you're very fond of.
It is a rhythm game. It's a Final Fantasy rhythm game. It was on the 3DS.
That sounds cool.
Yes, it has all Final Fantasy and some Square Enix soundtracks as well, like from Octopath Traveler, Triangle Strategy.
That's dope, actually.
Yes, and it's only $50.
I might actually play that.
$100 for all the DLC.
Oh, well, good thing I make bank now. So.
Yeah, good thing I'm a rhythm game player, which means they make bank off of me.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I can drop you 50 if you want it.
Through.
No.
Hold on. I'm going to look through real quick because I want to make sure that it is actually coming out in 2023. The title
mine is 100% Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Mine's like 99%.
I don't really think that's shocking to anybody because of how much of a Zelda fanboy I am. But yeah.
I mean, There are other games that I'm looking forward to, or other games that came out in January that were really good, but you can't really look forward to a game that already came out.
True.
Okay.
I'm interested
I-
to see what Pokemon's going to be this year.
Okay, it is supposed to come out in June. Mine that I'm excited for Street Fighter 6.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Street Fighter 6 is going to look... It looks pretty cool.
And it
I mean,
seems to be
Final Fantasy
crossplay.
It is. It looks very crossplay, available on everything except for Switch, apparently.
Yeah.
But that's Switch. You probably don't want to run a fighting game off of Switch.
Not
Also,
really, yeah.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16 is apparently coming out.
I haven't
June as
seen
well.
anything about it.
I haven't seen anything about it either.
So that's interesting. I want a new Donkey Kong game, but I keep hearing rumors, but I keep not seeing anything. Nintendo?
Yeah.
But yeah, Street Fighter 6 is my highly anticipated Street Fighter 6.
We got a new
thought-
cow. We got a Cow the Kangaroo reboot. Why can't we get a DK thing?
Oh yeah, and I can't wait for Metroid Prime 4 to come out in 2058.
Yeah.
Apparently, Mega Man Battle Network something
Yeah.
is
I
also
don't-
coming out.
Battle
I
Network
don't-
Collection.
I don't know
yeah.
much about that. I know Mega Man. I played the original 6. But
So
that's
Okay.
about it.
supposed
And then
to
I
be
played 11. I did play 11 for a little bit, but that was
So-
hard.
but-
Mega Man's hard.
I was gonna mention, like, hopefully next year when we do this again, some of those games that we've listed or have on our list are mentioned to them. Because if they're not, that just means they're a disappointment.
Yeah.
That would be an oop.
Or maybe
would
it's
be-
an honorable mention, or maybe it was good. It just didn't hit the list. We don't know.
Listen, I don't think there's any way Zelda is not number 1 for my next year's list.
Hopefully.
Oh my god, I just realized something.
What?
Oh no.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R is on Game Pass.
That's
Yes.
a name and a half.
Holy
Whoa.
shit, I know
You
what
just
I'm
said a lot of
doing.
words.
It doesn't
just
have
said-
rollback, and it has no plans for rollback.
Oh, you
just
know what
said
else
a
is on
whole
there?
lot of words,
There's a
man.
lot of shit that just been added to freaking Game Pass. Hold on. Hi-Fi Rush is on Game Pass. Monster Hunter Rise is on Game Pass. Persona
Yo,
3
Monster Hunter
Portable.
Rise was great.
Persona 4 Golden.
Monster Hunter Rise was
Golden
phenomenal.
Eye Double 7.
Yeah. It finally came out on the online. The Switch Online. It's there.
Game Pass went off this month. Holy shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're tired. At least I'm tired, and I'm sick. So I'm going to go to bed.
Okay.
This has been a great podcast. And sorry that I didn't do the opening, guys. Thank you, James, for taking the opening for me. Because
It's kinda
I
hard
was,
to do the opening
I
when you're
was
dying.
dying.
Yes, it seems very difficult.
And I could not talk that long at that point in time. But I'll be better for the next one. Which I don't know. I kind of like these top 10, bottom 10, top 5, bottom 5 lists. I enjoy them. I like ranking things, or like ordering things, or just listing things. I enjoy that. So maybe we'll do another one of those.
In the future.
But I don't. At this current time, we do not have a topic for the next podcast, but we will figure something out.
I don't know,
We
maybe
could do
bottom
Mega Man.
or we could do Mega Man or bottom 10. Spoiler though, I
Bottom
don't
have
10 of
have-
2022.
I don't have
Okay,
a bottom 10
bottom-
of 2022.
Bottom 10 2022. Okay, so number 1, Dragon Ball the Break.
Dragon Ball Breakers. Yeah, there you go. I think I only have like 3 or 4 games that I didn't like from 2022
Oh man. Yeah, it's very
that
hard.
came out in 2022. I should
22.
say. I
That
played
came out in
games.
2022.
Yeah, I played
Yeah.
games that I did not like, but as for games that came out in 22 that I didn't like, it's not many.
Again, bottom 10s are a little bit harder because we had to actually feel like we played it a fair amount to say, hey, we don't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and in this day and age where the attention span is the biggest thing, most people aren't going to put that much in.
Yeah.
That's why my only one for my bottom 10. Really quick, my bottom 10, aka the Dragon Ball the Breaker.
Yeah. Mine would probably be Rune Factory 5, which is also on my top 10 list. Just because it was very bad at the beginning. Very not fun. It got better, but eventually it just I couldn't keep up with it. So I didn't feel like
Mine would
playing
probably be Epiphany City. It's a puzzle game where it started off kind of cute,
Yeah.
really easy, and then it really, really fell at the finish line. It's made by people. It's made by the people who are making like Melee tutorials. So I wanted to support them, but it was only like $10. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
You wanted to support them, so here it is my number one least favorite game.
It's
Love
my
you
least
guys.
favorite that came out in 2022 that I played. I don't really have
Fair
much
enough.
else.
All right, well, we could do Mega Man. Have we all
Mega
played
Man.
Mega Man?
Played
I have
multiple
barely
Mega
played
Man.
Mega Man.
You should play one. They're not long. They're just hard.
Yes.
You should play Mega Man 1, 2, X, and ZX.
No, you should not play one. One is too difficult.
play
to
Mega
go
Man
back
2.
to. Play Mega
Mega
Man
Man
2, play Mega Man X, and play Mega Man 11.
I do have all the legacy collections, so
Yeah. They're
Just
not
don't play
long.
Volnut. Don't play
Okay.
Volnut.
so I think it's a good time to go to sleep.
Yeah,
Yep,
I'm
good.
fucking beat, guys. I'm sorry.
Yes. Thank you
as
you
al-
all for listening.
Yeah. Thank you. James, can you do the outro?
Okay, thank you
James.
guys. Once again, I'm James.
Mike.
And I'm Joey.
We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye-bye.